The Move have been eliminated from Cup 5 here in the summer season. They need a big performance in Cup 6, but moreover, they need big performances from the teams that have qualified most likely to the summer finals. One of those is going to be Cloud9. Cloud9 playing in our next series against No Name. No Name also another team that isn't very threatening, so these are the sorts of teams that the Move now want to see winning. This next series, though, we talked about it, maybe we're going to see some Rogue Mage mirrors.
Yeah, I kind of hope that we will see some Rogue Mage mirrors, because honestly, I don't know what else is going to be able to take down Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it hasn't looked like there's too many options. We've seen in Europe, though, the DK and the Destruction Walk. We saw in North America some of these Shadow Priest compositions coming in, and this is actually really interesting. We talked about this yesterday. Absturge actually suggested that this composition could be the answer. What do you make of it here, Zico?
I don't think this is the answer. I mean, how many Destro Warlocks have we seen fall to the daggers of Assassination Rogues? I feel like there's too many to count at this point. This matchup is all about having Cubsy, just keep mana, get drinks, 30% dampening, Warlock self-healing is not going to be great, and they're going to be able to take him down. And up until that point, Cloud9, they just need to play a controlled game where they control Nick, they control Burn, they make sure that they don't fall too far behind. The only scary thing, I think, is if Corlic gets a big purge spam set up, essentially, onto one of the members combined with Chaos Bolts.
First time we're going to see the Rogue Warlock Shaman go into the Rogue Mage Druid. That's been the name of the tournament so far in 8.2, is what can beat Rogue Mage Druid. This composition is showing decent promise early on with a lot of pressure on Wealthy Men. Vendetta popped, Ironbark going to be fading here shortly. Nick going all in with that push though, having committed his Cloak of Shadows and not getting too much for it. He could be a liability if Cloud9 looked to switch to him, but instead going for the safer line of the Destruction Warlock as the main target, and they immediately get the Unending Resolve. They've already got the major cooldown, Gladiator's Medallion from Corlic. They now just got the second major cooldown, Unending Resolve, in 2 setups. Third setup could be the end of the game.
I mean, it really could be. I mean, Burn's still not topped off at this point. There's just massive damage from Snuts and Wealthy Man. Corlic looking for some heals. Is he going to be able to find it? There's the full kidney shot. Is there any crowd control? Kick from Snuts. Nicely done. Burn's in a world of trouble right now. Gladiator Safeguard will proc as he's looking to land a fear, trying to slow down Cloud9 just a little bit in the game. Corlic going to make some defensive trades with his Ascendants and top off Burn, but Cloud9, they've got all the pressure, all the momentum. Nick traded out the Vanish and the Cloak of Shadows quite early on, but if I was Nick, I would do everything I can to make Cloud9 go after me, try to free up Burn a little bit. So it could be a bait. I mean, right now, Burn's going to be in some trouble with the Polymorph over onto Corlic.
Yeah, full Polymorph, second Polymorph, where the Cyclones from Cubsy, he's in position, gets it. Smoke bomb dropped by Nick in desperation to save Burn while Corlic sits through Cyclone. No follow-up. Corlic able to connect some heals. Burn trying to counter pressure. Wealthy Men blinking out of line of sight, avoiding those big Chaos Bolts thanks to the activation of that Dark Soul. Burn now stunned towards the end of it. Good denial by Cloud9, avoiding Burn's significant damage increasing cooldown. Corlic getting cleaved down in the Frozen Orb. Snuts potentially interrupting him as well if he's not careful. Corlic was able to work through it. Now only counter spell. Corlic going to avoid that, activating the Spirit Walker's Grace. Snuts looks like he wants to move towards Corlic and crowd control. I'm going to be blinding. Double Mortal Coil from Burn to stall. Fear Cubsy out of stun, not able to, unfortunately. Snuts hexed for a moment, but not of too much consequence. Mana, though, is heavily in favor of No Name at this point, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah, I mean, that's one advantage the Restoration Shaman brings. If they can hold on, and they can win this match. But it just seems like until that point, Cloud9, they can basically do whatever they want in this match. Cubsy, he did trade out his Trinket, did trade out Ironbark. Wealthy Man still has 2 ice blocks he can fall back on if he really needs to. Corlic positioned at the pillar. It's going to be for the Restoration Shaman all about just surviving, holding on as long as you can. In the meantime, Cubsy realizes the only way they can throw away this game is if he does go out of mana. So he's going to sit down, go for a drink, and just allow Wealthy Man Snuts to control up the game. Snuts sits on Burn, as well as Wealthy Man controlling up Nick. Finally, Cubsy, with full mana, he comes back into the fight, topping off Snuts, topping off Wealthy Man, and now Cloud9 can look to get aggressive once again.
Cloud9, I would say, have been in a confident position for most of game number 1. I'm not sold on this Rogue Warlock Shaman. I think this could just be the end of the game. Nick needs to do something quick to save Burn. He's burning down on any resolve. Not available for 4 more seconds and interrupted. This should be game over. Cloud9 taking this down. No blocks force, no cloak force. This is not looking like the answer.
Yeah, Burn got to the end of his wick quite quickly in that game. I mean, we did not even enter dampening.
Yeah, you're burning him here as well, so there we go. We got a situation where Cloud9, they tried something here, No Name, didn't quite work out. We weren't as convinced, I think, about this as we were the Warlock, definitely, or at least I was. The Rogue it just doesn't seem to pack the same punch. You could see it theoretically killing the Druid or something, but they just didn't have any pressure.
I think that they need to drag the game for a really long time to be able to actually secure a kill over onto Wealthy Man, and unfortunately for them, that also means that Burn will go down if they wait for too long. So I don't think this is the matchup that counters Rogue Mage Druid. I don't mind seeing it to kind of see how it does play out. Yeah, I mean, in practice, things are always different than in theory. So it's nice to see it, but I think that we're definitely going to have to see a comp swap here. Perhaps Floor Mat coming in on that Frost Mage could be something that No Name could look to implement, because this game, it looked pretty one-sided. I mean, Wealthy Man securing that polymorph off the back of the dash, Corlick having to trinket the blind as well, and you know, a couple of setups like this means that the Warlock will go down. His unending resolve as well was super close to being back off cooldown. Just a couple of seconds left on that one, but even then I think he would have died because Cloud9 had so much more crowd control.
Yeah, it's not a great sign that unending resolve coming back up 3.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, Destro Warlocks, we know them to be classes that normally live till the deep dampening stages, but there's just no pressure. Like, they can't generate anything. Rogues kind of feel naked into Mage Druid sometimes. If they don't have any kind of passive pressure, there's just like Cyclones and Sheeps just control them out of the game in that situation. It wasn't enough, but I think you've got to give it to No Name. As you say, we haven't seen the matchup yet, and if they were going to try a counter pick, you try it on game one, then if you revert back to the mirror, at least you have some good shots at winning that one.
Yeah, and I mean, it could also be one of those comps that work a lot better on a smaller map. I feel like against Mage Druid in general, smaller maps is kind of where you want to be taking it. So if we do see the same matchup on Hook Point, I wouldn't be 100% against it, but I still think in theory that they should just lose, and therefore I think they should just go for the mirrors. And
so if they lock in the RLS, you're not betting on No Name on Hook Point?
If they look in the mirror, are you?
If they lock in the mirror, I'm not betting on them anyway.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I bet on Cloud9 winning this entire cup. How about that?
Yeah,
wow,
okay. It's a lot bold statement. Yeah, I actually...
Was it, though?
I'm
Because
curious.
last week, I bet for Cloud9, and you guys didn't. And
That's true.
Saying,
That's
How do
true.
you feel about this?
I wasn't sure how strong the Rogue Mage would be, so they're swapping over to the Paladin here. Maybe a little bit more punch, Sid?
I mean, it's a lot more damage. They could do a similar strategy that we saw with the Unholy Death Knight Destruction. Try and go after the Restoration Druid. Hook Point would be a decent map to do that, but the Paladin loses a lot of disruption, so he's going to be crowd controlled for an extended period of time. They miss out on the interrupt, the wind shear, and the grounding totem, so I expect this game to be faster. Whether or not it actually works for them, it's either going to work very fast for them or it's going to work against them very fast, so it's a risky decision to go on the Paladin.
Here's my gripe with this composition. I feel like the only reason that we saw any semblance of pressure from these Warlock Paladin teams was because the Druid was caught out of position. Why was he out of position? Because of Death Grip, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way they could generate pressure, was Death Gripping accurate behind a pillar or Minpoike. So, I mean, I don't even really understand what the theory is here. Like, how would they find a kill?
Don't ask me.
I mean, they have to run at the Druid. It's already hard enough as RM Paladin, especially with immobile Destro Warlock.
It's really difficult. I mean, Burn is going to have a kidney shot on him the whole game. Snuts is just going to be training him down, interrupting him with kick or out silence, kidney shot. Him getting aggressive, I mean, they can make an all-in push with Blessing and Protection on Burn if they do catch Cubsy out of position. But the thing is, what did we see in that last game? Wealthy Man, Cubsy, they just sit far away, just control up Nick the entire game, and then when they need to, when they get the clean crowd control on Nick, they get the kidney shot over onto Burn, that's when they can push in, get the crowd control on Corlick as well, and they can start really generating pressure. It's an uphill battle for them. I feel like on this smaller map, maybe they can make an all-in onto Cubsy, but if they can't take down Cubsy, I don't see them winning this game. I don't know how they'll kill Snuts. I don't know how they'll kill Wealthy Man. Their only option, in my eyes, is to just try to take down Cubsy in an all-in.
Yeah. And
I'm not convinced they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, and we're not being harsh on No Name here. I'm actually really appreciative that they're trying out these matchups just so we can start to get a feel. Even if they don't win, we'll see what potential there is here for these comps.
With teams like this, though, teams like No Name, they can run the Rogue Mage Druid. I just want to see them go head-to-head in a mirror match. They're trying to counter, in air quotes, but...
Yeah, counter the other counter.
Yeah, what
seemingly.
counters Rogue Mage Druid? I'm I'm not sure, but I don't think it's this.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find out. And that's actually to Zico's comment. I'm actually really curious if the boys are going to have something this week. They said that they would prep some stuff, but equally a lot of teams have said that, right? Like, and then their counters have fallen short, to say the least. Cloud9 one up in this one, looking like they should be comfortable for Championship Sunday. No Name would then drop into the lower bracket, which would be obviously something that I think they would actually play against M2KC, so there's more Rogue Mage on the menu for them.
They have Floor Mat on the team. I don't know why they don't just play the Rogue Mage Paladin. I feel like that comp has been one of the main compositions that Cloud9 struggled with. I mean, maybe they just want to know for sure if the Destruction Warlock Rogue doesn't work. Cloud9 are taking the map into their own advantage to attack the enemy healer, going immediately after Korlik. Cubsy sitting through Blind Sap, not wanting to use the Glider's Medallion just yet. Wealthy Man's getting high value Temporal Shield, dealing back a huge amount of damage. And now Cubsy is out of crowd control, connecting Iron Bark and reducing the damage of these Chaos Bolts significantly. Korlik sitting through a blind. Snuts looking for the Sap, gets the Sap as well, but not too much damage just yet. So immediately they abandon the Warlock and go back to the Paladin. Korpal going to be popping that Avenging Wrath, increasing his healing, although there is a kick available. He's going to have to fake cast. He's not running the Divine Favor. Interesting choice to not be running that. Perhaps he knows it's just going to be spell stolen, so he wants to get advantage of an extra honor talent aside from the Divine Favor, but this now guarantees that he has to fake cast a significant amount of interrupts.
Yeah, Nick's going to be moving forward, trying to continue the pressure on Wealthy Man, but it's Burn on the back foot. There's the full Cyclone over onto Korlik. Cubsy secures the second. Burn in a little bit of trouble. Ultimate sacrifice trades, but that's a major cooldown that he had to trade out to keep Burn alive. It's a big victory there for Cloud9. Hammer of Justice into a Sap. Nicely done there by Nick. Good setup. Wealthy Man could be in some trouble. A kick comes in. Burn lands a Fear over onto Snuts. Big setup here by No Name. If they can get an Ice Block, it's going to be huge, but if they can't, I mean, I don't really see setups getting better than that, and Wealthy Man didn't really have to use anything. He still has his Ice Block. I don't think Safeguard proc. Cubsy just managed to throw in an Iron Bark, and now Wealthy Man's completely fine, and that was a great setup. That should have been an Ice Block, and the fact that it isn't just makes me think that No Name, I just don't know where their win condition is.
All right, No Name, how are you going to pull this off? Looks like they're desperate. They're going after Cubsy in a swap, but Nick isn't getting any support. He did at least manage to get Barkskin from Cubsy. Cubsy's actually running out in midfield. Burn can connect potentially some damage. Bit on the back foot and struggling. Korlik has to abandon the push and reposition to heal Burn. No interrupts available. A bit surprising to not just see Korlik casting Holy Lights right now. He's going to fall pretty far behind, wasting a lot of time now in the Polymorph, but on diminishing return, fortunately. So it will reduce the crowd control chain quite a lot. Cubsy in a blind. Nick trying to punish Spider's Medallion usage earlier on, but full blind Sap and absolutely no damage onto the side of Cloud9. That's going to be devastating for No Name. They try and keep the chain going with a Shadow Fury, lobbing out a Chaos Bolt, dispelling off the shield absorption effect from Wealthy Man, but even still not enough to get the Ice Block. Smoke Bomb now committed. If they don't find an Ice Block with this, I mean, they're so far behind.
Yeah, Wealthy Man's going to be fine now. A full Cyclone on Nick, and this is a problem. Wealthy Man baits Nick into the open, gets the Polymorph. Cubsy can follow it up, and now Wealthy Man himself can get aggressive. Burn shuts that down a little bit with the double Mortal Coil. Has a Polymorph over onto Korlik, but that double Mortal Coil shuts it down. Burn, once again, gets interrupted. Now in a Kidney Shot. Blessing of Protection trades from Korlik. That was a little interesting. I mean, I guess the one thing No Name have going for them on the smaller map is it's going to be a lot more difficult for Cubsy to actually manage to sneak away from a drink. This is an all-in attempt. Kidney Shot over onto into Hammer of Justice on Cubsy, but just no damage. Cubsy's completely fine.
Burn interrupted, stunned at low
health. 9. Burn's going to be in some trouble with the Divine Shield. I think Korlik should be able to keep him alive. Nice Cyclone on that Divine Favor heal, completely shutting down Korlik. If Cloud9 can get crowd control on Korlik, this is a nightmare situation for No Name.
All right, let's see. Cloud9 have, I would say, total control of this game. No Name need to kill Cubsy quick, but all three members have to connect if they're going to take him down. Cubsy comes out of the stun, utilizing Iron Bark to reduce damage. Swiftmend and heals back to full. Nick and Apolly can't keep attacking. Burn still just getting destroyed right now in game number 2. Full Polymorph. This could be the end of the game, even with Unending Resolve. They strip off the Gladiator Safeguard. They're cutting right through the defense. If they can deny Korlik's big heal here with the Avenging Wrath, certainly Burn will fall. Can they interrupt him is the question. He's trying to just use Light of the Martyr and heal Burn back up. It does look like Burn is stabilized. No interrupts available. They need to get an ice block with this opportunity from Wealthy Man. They're pushing for it. They're so close. They interrupt him on Frost. Maybe they can kill him. A 3-second window. A miracle opportunity. 6 seconds away from Ironbark of Cubsy. 3 seconds away. Wealthy Man stunned at half, but a huge heal is going to save the day as both teams stabilize.
Yep, Cubsy now gets the Cyclone over onto Nick. Corlick needs to be careful. He has to avoid Polymorph at all costs, but that consistent damage of the Assassination Rogue really paying dividends here over onto Burn. We're just a few seconds away from dampening kicking in. And Corlick's almost just completely tapped on mana. There's the Polymorph. Burn's in a kidney shot. I think that's the end of the game. How does Burn hold on? Shadow Fury lands looking for a fear, but the Cyclone on Corlick should be the final nail in the coffin. Maybe he can actually live. No, Wealthy Man closes it out, and this is how we expect this matchup to play out. The Assassination Rogue, Frostmage, Restoration Druid just have so much control over this Destruction Warlock. And like you said, Adrian, it just doesn't seem like this Paladin Destruction Warlock composition works at all unless you have that additional Death Knight to put in that massive pressure on the Druid and also pull him out of position with the Death Grip.
Yeah, I mean, it was creative plays coming in from No Name, the kidney shot on the other side of the map, the double gate on top of Cubsy. It's the sort of play that you want to make a highlight reel out of that, but it's just not enough. You know, they need to do it multiple times. You only have one gateway. You're only going to catch Cubsy out once. It feels inconsistent at best. It was a good try. It was nice to see it. It certainly looked better than the Shaman, but ultimately C9 2-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looked better than the Shaman, honestly, because of the map as well. I feel like C9 was in control pretty much the entire time. I mean, this was really the only time where Wealthy Man, I don't even think his Safeguard actually procced the entirety of this game. Burn, not going to be able to do too much here, and like you guys already mentioned, you know, No Name are behind on cooldowns, they're behind on damage, they're behind on mana. Cloud9 just looking dominating here, and eventually they are going to be able to secure a lot of crowd control. I mean, here this CC chain begins here because Nick is out of position, gets polymorphed, Corlick goes out to dispel him, Corlick gets caught up in a polymorph, and then of course he gets re-polymorphed, and then Cubsy's always so good at rotating around the map, getting that follow-up Cyclone, getting the follow-up Bash, just utter domination from Cloud9.
Yeah, it's exactly what we want to see from Cloud9. I mean, Cloud9 are North America's best hope at BlizzCon right now. They won the spring finals. I think in the world currently, they're probably the favorite, especially in this meta. They're looking really, really good for North America, and they're looking like they will once again make it through the championship Sunday here with a top 3 finish. Game 3 between Cloud9 and No Name, and it is going to be the Major Lock Druid trying to give Cloud9 a taste of their own medicine here on Tolvaron Arena. Of course, Cloud9 known famously for this composition, as it is what won them the spring finals.
Well, it seems like Floormat's not here, and maybe that's why they're not playing the Rogue Mage Druid, because I would not expect Nick to be locked in on the Frost Mage in this matchup. Nick Frost Mage, I've never seen, so we'll see how this works out. Of course, this is a composition Cloud9 knows pretty well. If anyone knows how to beat Mage Lock Druid, it is going to be Cloud9. Rogue Mage Druid versus the Mage Lock Druid. No Name looking to put a point on the board here against Cloud9, but it just seems like so far Cloud9 is leaps and bounds ahead of No Name in this series, at least.
Oh, a full Hibernate, that is devastating. Into a Polymorph. Burn in a lot of trouble early on from Cloud9. They seem to be not even remotely afraid of the Mage Warlock Druid of No Name, and if they can keep up this pressure, I would say that they're looking solid to take the rest of this series. Finally, counter pressure on Snuts. He gets caught overextended. Ironbark going to save him from Cubsy just in the nick of time.
Yeah, Snuts completely A-OK. He still has the Cloak of Shadows. He's got the evasion. That was the Ironbark from Cubsy that did manage to stabilize Snuts. Now Wealthy Man going to be taking a little bit of damage. We'll have to see how this plays out. I feel like in dampening, at least Cloud9 will have an edge, but it seems like Cloud9 right now, they are not afraid to push in, go for plays, go for crowd control. Cubsy gets shut down on that Cyclone. Good denial there by No Name, but a full blind lands. Corlick forced to trinket out, and he trades out his Ironbark to keep Burn nice and healthy. Can they get the counter pressure onto Snuts? Nick's going to have to get work done, but he's getting controlled right now. Wealthy Man, Cubsy, they're pushing in. They're looking for crowd control in Corlick. They managed to find the Polymorph. He's got no trinket. Full kidney shot over onto Burn. Is there any follow-up? Unfortunately not. Burn gets topped off. Good job by Nick, slowing down the Cyclones from Cubsy with that counterspell.
All right, Cloud9, let's see if you can close this out here. No Gladiator's Medallion for some time on Corlick, although on Tolvaron Arena it will be difficult for Cloud9 to close the gap and get on top of Corlick, which is certainly going to be favored to No Name. If there was a chance for them, it would be here. Burn gets stunned up. Corlick going to respect this attack and utilize Iron Bark, but it wasn't Vendetta, which is actually now available for Snuts. This could be a power play from Snuts in 8 seconds. They could likely find a kill or force even more significant cooldowns. 3 seconds before that cooldown is available, Cloud9 are jumping in, securing crowd control on Corlick. Snuts gets Mortal Coiled away. Burn trying to stall as long as possible for Corlick to get out of the Cyclone. Snuts still a bit reluctant to pull the trigger on that Vendetta just yet, perhaps waiting for a smoke bomb. They interrupt the Shadow Fury. Gladiator's Mallet gets the spell, but Corlick with a big mistake, getting caught in a polymorph from Wealthy Man. This could just be the end of the match. The Gladiator safeguard drain life from Burn. Corlick gets sapped as he tries to come into the smoke bomb. Beautiful plays by Snuts as he sets up the ultimate crowd control chain to 3-0 No Name.
Yep, a solid 3-0 there coming in from Cloud9. Easily able to make it through to Championship Sunday. Impressive stuff. Obviously, if anyone's going to beat the Mage, Warlock, Druid, it would be Cloud9. And, I mean, this wasn't really a challenge for them, let's be honest. We expected them to win this. They did so in incredibly clean fashion, and we will see them tomorrow.
Yep, Cloud9 on Championship Sunday. Pretty classic combo.
Yep.
And picking a Mage Lock Druid into Cloud9 is a brave move, like you mentioned. Anybody knows how to play that composition, it would be Cloud9. Yeah, and I mean, this is pretty dominating victory. I'm surprised to see Nick on the Mage too. I feel like they have Floor Mat on their roster. Maybe he wasn't available either.
He must not be here. That's why they're not playing Rogue Mage Druid either, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would actually make a lot of sense. But in this match, I gotta say, you know, this was a lot about Snuts and a little bit about Corlick as well. Honestly, Corlick tanking a polymorph, kind of uncharacteristic. Wait, is this? Nah. Let's see. Wait. Okay, no. So he tanks a polymorph that he definitely could have avoided here by a Wealthy Man. Nice double blink to secure that one. And after that, it's all about Snuts. Cloak of Shadows offensive. Vendetta gets popped. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Vanish. Resap. Cheap Shot. Extending the crowd control chain. And then, of course, they have the damage to back it up as well with Wealthy Man. Channeling out those Frost Bolts for huge damage and those Flurry procs.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the reason why this is kind of, it's really good for Cloud9, obviously, they easily win, but you think again how close the move were to beating Cloud9 on Wednesday.
Yeah,
like literally 1 or 2%,
gone.
they could have had this matchup, they could have had the top 3 finish, but instead they were knocked out earlier. Cloud9, obviously very good performance from them, knocking themselves through to the upper finals. We'll see that tomorrow, Championship Sunday. Make sure that you catch that. We'll have our top 4 teams, but the next one is the matchup we've all been looking forward to. It's going to be the boys playing against Method Orange here, and Method Orange have a really good opportunity, Sid, to take a huge lead here in terms of points.